let the Lake Harbor Park series begin.
If you, a lot of people might not know where it's west of Grand Rapids, right on the water. So for about 3 months a year, we get good weather.
Right. Maybe a month and a half of that where some of us are able to sanely walk into the water.
Yeah. Yeah, it's definitely cold in there, but I've been in there.
Oh, it's refreshing though.
But my kids, they'll get in there and they just stay in there forever, man.
Yep.
But it's beautiful out here.
Don't mind my shaky picture. We're trying some new things.
So you're gonna join us and kind of we're just gonna a little bit pretend you're not there a little bit in some ways. We're gonna talk about, you know, we talk a lot about search sharing, and a lot of people might think that means just doing a lot of, you know, yoga, nothing, you know, with your hands like that, and nothing wrong with all that, but there's a lot more to sitting and searching and sharing that meets the eye.
Definitely it may sound inactive, but it's in many ways it's very therapeutic if you really think about it.
Yeah.
So I mean, well, kind of in the daily dose and the bonus bite yesterday, I mentioned how sit didn't mean perform, but it means more reflect. And even though we think search means finding, that's a lot of what sit.
Probably want to go that way.
Yeah.
Because if we lose you, just come back on.
Well,
we're real close to being out of signal here.
We may, yeah, you know, we're not going to get lost.
We know these trails,
even when we find new ones.
I talk about. I did a little talk the other day. Sitting is a lot like the way I look at it was like when I ran track, and I like to run the long distance. I did, and really, you know what sitting is if anyone's run any type of competition with long running, you know it's all about pace. Everything's about pace. You got to know your pace, and you train for your pace. You're constantly. We were just talking a couple minutes ago about you used to run too,
right?
So did you do some kind of like long distance running?
Very. I was, track and cross country in high school.
So what did you, when you were running, what did they teach you?
They didn't really teach me anything. They just said go.
A lot of running.
Yep.
A lot of running.
Yep.
And I was, when in the mile, it was probably a little bit more, you know, it was a lot more psychological in ways for that race in pace.
Yes.
We had to learn our pace. And because they would have teams where literally because each team could have 2 mile runners per thing, and they'd have teammates that their whole job was to sprint right when you started.
Right.
Especially when you got into competition where it was like state and regionals, they would literally just be people. Their whole job was to sprint in front of you and get you off your pace.
Yep. They're called the rabbits. You know, much like in greyhound racing, where they use a rabbit decoy to keep the dogs chasing after them. At many college and world track events have those people in place, and then they're designated. Everybody knows who they are. It's not one of those things where they're thrown in as a surprise. It's a case where they're the ones meant to control the pace of the race. So usually they'll have 1 rabbit per lap, say in the mile. That way the fastest people in the race aren't going to be able to challenge them, because they're pretty much just doing a quarter-mile sprint.
Yeah.
And
we would, if you, it almost like the way we would train, you could almost just close your eyes.
Correct.
You got so oblivious to the things that are around you. And I used to have a track coach. He was awesome, Mr. Beasel. And he used to run from one side of the track when I hit, and he'd sprint to the other side when he'd meet me on the other side, and he would tell me those were so important to know what your split times was to keep me on pace.
Right.
And I think a lot of sitting is a lot of learning your pace and understanding your pace. it doesn't mean sitting and doing nothing, because we live in a world that's going pretty freaking quick. If you
Oh,
just sit
you
and do
bet.
nothing, that's kind of what a lot of people think. I mean, don't you think a lot of people think when they think of like sitting or like meditation, that there might be a time to be,
Curl up with a good book.
but overall, the idea is we're moving.
Correct. And with the reclamation challenge, the whole purpose is finding out those pieces of you that you might have left behind at some point that are very important to who you are or who you need to be. And when you're moving as fast as this world tends to take us, those sorts of things get set aside.
Have you ever thought of, I don't know if you heard me talk about this, like our thoughts being like a Netflix.
Oh yes.
And if you think of like Netflix, when you get on at night and you're Netflix and we watch, we just kind of scroll. If you're like me, I can scroll forever and just be looking for a movie. And I think our thoughts are like that. And the reason I talk about that is because a lot of people think their thoughts are you. Your thoughts are not you.
Right.
They're separate from you. And you are the person that holds the controller of the thoughts.
Yep.
And as these thoughts are going through, and these thoughts are here based on our experiences, our teachers, our religion, our politics, our genders,
Yep.
our friends, all of that stuff is the movies that we have. It's what we're familiar with.
Correct.
And we are the ones that stop and watch what we want to watch. And we're the ones that make agreement and participate with that.
Right. And that's it. Those, like you say, those are our movies. Somebody else may have made those up, but we're the ones that actually took those into the editing room and put them in our head the way they are. But when they replay, they don't always replay the same. So depending on where you sit, between the optimistic and pessimistic spectrums, and everybody that says you're a realist, I know from experience that means you're a pessimist.
Mm-hmm.
It's one of those things where that also influences how we see those memories and how they affect us when we allow them to flood back.
Mm-hmm.
And we're using fruit as our pattern interrupter. It's a case where we're not influencing people to change their dietary lifestyle. We're asking everybody to add a little extra to it.
Yeah.
And but again, it's not for dietary sake or physical health sake.
We don't want to go too much farther. We're
Nah, we'll be good. We can go down a little bit and
okay.
Make a way back.
Isn't it beautiful out here, guys?
Absolutely. Good morning, Casey. Good to see you here. And so we use that as our pattern interrupter. And for those people who don't ordinarily get that much fruit in their diet as they should, it hits them right away.
Mm-hmm.
As much as, this, that, the next thing, we're good at selling ourselves our own excuses.
Mm-hmm.
But that first hit of, say, that orange you just peeled, the first hit, as soon as it explodes, all of a sudden there's kind of that wake up. But then you do it again.
Mm-hmm.
And then you say, what about another? Let's try something else. Most of us are pretty big into our bananas.
Yep.
Pretty easy to get and nice and cost effective. And but then you do the emotional side of it, that mental state starts to change. And then you start to recognize things, because pretty much one of our daily actions is stopping and focusing on the fruit.
Yep.
Now, it's not always about paying attention to the fruit you're eating, or it is, but there's all something more to it, something you're expected to compare to what you're doing or what you're paying attention to and how that affects you. And there in the sit process, that it can get heavy too. It can get really heavy. It tends to feel a little more serious. But you make it through that first week. And even if you don't continue, you've already tapped into some pretty good tools to help you carry on.
Yeah.
But then we move into search.
I think what you're touching on, Tom, doing this walk right here, and we both like to do a lot of nature walks.
Oh, absolutely.
And
I need to.
And we do these walks without our device. And what I do when I go out there, there's a reason why people don't go on walks. It's because when people go on walks, they take their problems with them out into the woods, and they think it's their job to figure them out because they don't realize they're the holder of the remote. They have the remote. They can say, nope, I'm going on a walk. And sometimes what will happen when I go on a walk is I have all these negative thoughts or these things that I'm trying to figure out or all these, problems I'm trying to solve. And I know now that's not the time to do it. When you go on a walk, it's the time to stop. And you wouldn't believe how freaking hard it is to stop those Netflix movies from just
right.
And what I'll do is I'll say leaf, tree bark, cloud, and I'll literally start naming the things to get that net, and I can feel the wheels start to slowly, and then all of a sudden I can start breathing and I can start focusing. That's it. It's letting the thoughts are still there.
Yep.
They didn't go anywhere. They're still there. Most people don't ever stop their thoughts, and the only way they stop the thoughts is they get into something else where they have like screen time, and there's nothing wrong with that, but they have to have time to stop, because what happens after that is the reason we use fruit is because fruit does the same thing in the house.
Yep.
When you pick up a orange or an apple or so many fruits are vibrant colors. There's something in the colors in itself that just can relax you.
Correct.
God gave us this fruit to pull us the same way I go out in the woods. It's the same thing. It gives you a way to just stop all the thoughts, chill the heck out, sit down. You could be moving, you could be running, but man, you got to stop the thoughts. And that's when you start to
change and you search. It's one of those things where, think of it like you're obviously unplugging. I do enjoy stumbling across wildlife and trying to follow them for a bit without chasing them.
Yeah. Yep, I see that in you.
But that's it though, is
that you're just aware.
Correct.
How often do you walk by a squirrel in real life and you just you sit there and you don't even watch it, be like, you know what, that thing's pretty. You sit there and you don't even watch it, be like, you know what, that thing's pretty freaking smart, actually.
Exactly. Or right here, there's a deer. Might be too far away, but yeah, we come up over the hill, and that's
oh, maybe not.
It's hard to say because their antlers are starting to come in now, so they're a bit velvety and a little stubby at the moment. But
you first got to put yourself in the environment to even have something to be aware of.
Correct. It's one of the things I like, and I especially love stumbling across deer, because most times that's what we do. They usually know we're there long before we know they're there. And it's a process of just being ready for it, being okay with being startled, and it turned around, it stopped, and watching us some more. But no, they're fantastic creatures. In general, and I mean, honestly, as a kid, I was terrified of snakes, and to this day, I will not willingly pick one up.
I hate snakes too.
But I don't hate them though. I don't have a problem with them at all.
I feel the same way.
But I will. Most people though, when they see them,
they're fascinating.
Yes, the first reaction is, get that away from me, or I'm getting away from it. Unless it's something that in here in Michigan, we've only got the one poisonous snake and we rarely see them anymore. You know, so I'll keep my distance from them, even though they're slow moving, unless they're striking at you. But I like to get right up alongside those snakes, because generally the ones you run into are more apt to take off anyways once they know you're there. They're not fools. They're smart predators.
Why don't you show them the dune here, guys? Check this out.
Yeah.
This is what we do with our kids to get them all. But I run up and down that, and then they're good for the day.
Yep.
I go home and take a nap.
I get a few steps into it, and I'm breathing extra heavy anymore. So,
that's about being aware, though, guys.
Correct. You know, and that's searching.
Is it once you get into, you know, searching? The point we're trying to make is when we have this thing called the reclamation challenge, and actually it's just called the reclamation.
Correct.
And what we do is we have a group of us, we get together and we challenge each other in life in different, you know, ways of eating fruit, being intentional. We do daily doses as these videos that come out daily. Tom is the one that does those, and he has these really cool videos that we have these words that we're just intentional, nothing big.
Yep. No
huge commitments, nothing you got to go to all these meetings. You don't have to fly out of town to some kind of retreat. You don't have to become some kind of Buddha. You don't have some kind of like guru, none of that stuff.
If you want to, that's awesome.
If you want to, there's no really rules. We're not trying to get people to become us or become something. We're trying to help people understand how to sit in their life long enough to let the stuff surface, kind of like you know, a lake.
Yep.
If you throw a stone, and you know, I used to grow up in northern Michigan where water was really mucky, and if you've ever messed with mucky water, the water goes up. It's the most beautiful, clean water ever.
Yep.
But you can see forever.
Right.
But when that muck comes up, you got to wait, you know, 5-10 minutes and let the dust settle.
Correct.
And a lot of people in their life, we've been trained opposite. You know, Tom, you went to school in the 80s and 90s. You know, we were taught you memorize, you do what you're told, you're organized, you're in line, you keep moving, your value is, you know, what you're doing, what degree you're getting, you know, how smart you are. Oh, here's a deer right here.
It is a buck.
He's helping us.
I'm gonna turn around and see.
There's two of them.
Yeah.
See, they're helping us with our talk. People think that we're weird with this stuff. When we start talking about this, they don't understand that the maker, he connects all this.
Here, you know what?
Yeah. Why don't you just watch these guys?
Let's see if it'll let me zoom in on it.
Yeah, he's waiting for us to go up there and keep our talk going.
Yep. Yeah, just don't mind me. I'm tech capable, not very tech savvy.
He's like, guys, you're talking about some masculine stuff here. Why don't you come up here and see some real masculine stuff?
Right. Even though it's not the season for it.
Come live in the woods. You know, become.
Oh my goodness!
Become strong when it's dark, and understand that there's strength in darkness. You know, we can learn a lot from animals.
Yep.
And plants.
Definitely. It's yeah. But yeah, that analogy you give, it's almost like the reclamation. There's a lot of the inland waters that because people don't have the Great Lakes like we do. It's one of those cases where a lot of the inland lakes are pretty murky and mucky in the areas that they set aside for people to use. Yep. And it's almost like the reclamation is that dredger they bring through at the start of the season to clean up. Oh, he's making a rub up here. But yeah, the reclamation is like that dredger that comes in to clean up the muck. It gets in and it digs down deep and breaks away all that muck at the bottom and gets it out of the way. And then what's left is that clear surface and easy to walk through water. Now, that's the important thing though, between sitting and searching. Each one of us has to get in and be the dredger and dig up the muck. And again, that muck probably won't go away. It'll come back.
Yep.
But what you're looking for
And
is
then
that,
you wait.
yep,
You just kind of you chill out.
and let the clarity take care of itself at that point.
Realize the muck is not you.
No.
It's your thoughts.
Yep.
Your thoughts are not you. It's a really big important thing. A lot of people think the thoughts. That means everything that goes through your head you think is you.
No.
Once you can start seeing your thoughts are separate than you, then you can start realizing that you have power over your thoughts.
Yep. Yeah, they're a buck and a doe over here, just kind of walking along.
Showing us what a good structured family would be like.
How to be chill even when there's strangers around.
Looks like they're getting their protein.
Oh yeah, they're usually in this area. They usually look, since it's a safe area for them for the most part. They're not allowed to be hunted around here. They tend to get a bit of that scrawny, mangy look but in the last couple of years, things have taken hold, and they're being able to take care of themselves better. And I've seen a lot of fawns. In fact, we had a mother and her 2 fawns practically in our backyard last week.
Oh,
Hoagie didn't know what to do with himself. He was so happy.
yeah. It's important to stay aware of all these things. Maybe you like animals more than you think you do.
Right.
You know, maybe your thing is water. Maybe it's fruit. You know, maybe your thing is, you like, to get herbs and you make, these little spices and things. Like I know people that do.
I'm or part of my
Telling you how to, we go to these schools that really haven't helped us. Not some of them have, but for the most part, taught us how to like use our gifts. And so we just get stuck in this world where we just feel, and I was drinking a lot
Yep.
to try to stop the noise.
To the other side.
And I've learned, it's not safe for me just to lay around. It's not
Yep.
safe for me just to, sit around and watch TV all day. Like, I'm not saying there's anything wrong with it. For me, I have to stay grounded.
Yep.
Because there was a reason I drank the way I did. It was because I was trying to find purpose. And when the more you can get out and you can connect with animals like that, I don't know, Tom, did you feel like a little spirit thing there?
Usually, especially when they sit and pay attention to you more than you are them. Growing up, as soon as they saw you, the first thing they do is run because they know they're in danger. Whereas here, it's, oh, yeah, we've seen things like you before. Yeah, yeah, they all look alike. But that's the beauty. You spend more time around deer because that's the way we feel about most animals.
Mm-hmm.
Now, you've seen one, you've seen them all. The more time you spend around them, the more you start to notice all the differences.
And a lot, and I'm gonna say this, guys, there's a lie out there in churches. And I'll say this because there's nowhere you can find this anywhere where they say animals don't have souls. I don't know where that souls, but I don't think that's true. I think the animals are just as important, and we can learn just as much from animals as I can learn from Tom.
It's a consciousness.
I learn a lot from animals.
Yep.
And when you look into animals' eyes, you can't tell me there's not something in there.
Yep. I was going to say, just because they tend to behave more instinctual because they have to live by survival of the fittest more than anything else. But most animals, they're capable of learning. And it's not always from negative reinforcement either.
No.
I mean, they learn the world around them.
My cat we kept the sons and the daughter. The sons are getting fixed tonight. And the moms and the daughter are fixed. I've watched her for years. I've watched cats. I say they have more functional family than most families I know in America. They have a really good functioning way. They love each other. They care for each other. And animals are important. Nature's important. Fruit's alive. I feel like fruit has a soul. I feel like fruit has a purpose. There's a reason that it's here and it connects with us. And I feel like that's why we use fruit. That's why we talk about animals and walking, all of it. It all stacks up.
Yep, it does. It does. And so for all of you who may have already been through sit with us and are now in the middle of search, we hope you're finding what you need. And what we're really encouraging is to break that cycle of being numb and start to come back to life. Start to become important in your world first. You know, you can't go out and make an impact on this world if you're not already making one in your own life. And then, you know, start with yourself. You know, all these global calls for basically talking to us as individuals like it's up to us to fix these global crises of environmental crises and such. And it's like, well, if each one of us does our part, because guess what? One of us isn't going to make an impact on that global scale no matter what we say. But if each one of us makes a decision that we're going to take care of our own backyard and make sure that that's a safe haven for a lack of pollution, you know, keeping things cleaned out and non-invasive, and however you want to look at that, each person that decides they're going to take up that call, well, guess what? After you start hitting so many people, that does start making a global impact. And that's really what we're looking for. We're looking for one person to step up and say, I'm going to make that difference in my life. I'm going to become the type of person I know I should be, that I want to be, and I'm going to do this. And by your example, other people are going to start asking questions. And are you going to be willing to answer that question as to what you're doing and why you're doing it?
And it's just doing it in these little bit pieces. The thing I love the most about the reclamation is I don't know where you're going to find a program where the first thing they're going to say, you might come in all ambitious, ready to go, and the first thing we're going to say is stop.
Yep.
And, you know, yes,
I don't
you can
know
change
that
I
word.
want to change the world. I'm waking up. I have, you know, I see things. I have visions. I'm you know, I get it. There's a lot of electricity in this earth right now, man. There's a lot. The sun, I'm into it, man. The sun, the vibration.
We're getting good signal here too.
That's okay. I'm ready for it.
There we are, and it didn't even tell us to reconnect this time.
And we're telling you, once you get started with us, we love the ambition or the lack of it, or because we know that maybe you're being sucked in a million different directions. And because if you are an ambition person, a lot of people are like, oh, come do this for me and market this for me and get this and be ambitious. And guys, we want that because it's a gift. But first, you got to stop. You got to stop all those movies that are going, the Netflix. You got to stop it because you got to figure out which one is yours and which one was lies in the world. Because some of them, you need to stop the movies so you can sit for a while and let what you are, who you are, what your soul is to come up to the surface. And then what we want to do is help you share that.
Absolutely.
You know, and share your truth, not our truth, not Tom's truth, not the reclamation's truth. That's what the reclamation challenge is. We want to teach people that so you can go and be your light in the world, what you need to do. If you want a platform, we'll help you. We're looking for some people to share more, search and share, but we're not trying to make clones. We're trying to help you be you.
Exactly. It's not being perfect, because we all know we don't stand a chance if that's what we're calling for.
And we're doing that by us being us, getting out here, connecting, doing this. We're not telling you to do something. We're going to do all this all the time.
Yep. We're not going to ask you to do anything we won't do. And maybe your cycle needs to be interrupted by something different than the way we do. So that's all. It's a call to action. It's a call to action, but
listen to your
exactly.
Heart. Listen to
that
your
action
heart.
is listening.
It's talking.
And accepting. You know, you got to accept where you're at.
Yeah.